There's the camera.
Woo!
Put it away.
Sorry. It's something really important I had to take care of. Ugh. I can't make your mom jokes because I just can't. Anyway.
I hear you. Where's the thing? Here's the thing. Okay. Alright. So, alright, we just finished part 1. We got the right answer. Super stoked.
So I'm actually legitimately interested in what 2 is going to ask.
Okay.
It's going to be just...
Let's go admire
addition.
our gold star. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Cool. So, alright, so here's part 2. So, of all guards, which guard is most frequently asleep on the same minute? Oh.
Wait, it's asking, of all the guards, which one is most frequently asleep in the same minute? Isn't that what we had to figure out anyway?
No. So, well, it actually it had a different constraint. Mm-hmm. So it used the selection criteria was the guard that was asleep the most. Right.
Right. So guard, that's number 1. Like so, we had to isolate him out and then see the most minutes.
So guard 10 was asleep like all this time, and then we had to figure out what minute guard 1 was asleep the most often, or guard 10, right? And it was this 24.
Right.
Well, for the example. Mm-hmm. Now for this one, asking... which guard was asleep? So I'm imagining, we look at guard 99, they're asleep at 45, 45, yeah. 45, and then if you come down here, they tell you that it's 45. So the good thing is that we have all the information that we need already stored, but I'm still gonna make a part 2 folder, directory folder. I'm just gonna take all this and copy it. All right. So go here. All right. So we want this to equal. All right. So what do we have to do? We have to multiply again. So it's gonna be 4455 is what we want out of this new one. All right. Now. So we already have all the parsing set up. Great. We already have all this sleep map set up. So the difference here is, let's see. So instead of adding up for one particular, so let's build up their sleep map. All right, and then we're not going to care about this, because we don't care what the max minutes of sleep was.
Nope, not anymore.
So we already have this built up.
Yep.
So
we want to build the most popular minute, basically.
Yeah. So really here we want to say, all right, let's take this best minute again. We'll take we reuse the sleepiest guard. And all this stuff can kind of just go away. Let's grab this. Do not mean to do that. Wanted that. Okay. So, so instead of adding up how long they've been asleep, we want to know. So yeah. Not bad. So we want this inner loop in here. I apologize. I'm not explaining myself real well, but
no. The typing's doing it for you. Basically, instead of what we were doing down there, because we don't give a rat's ass about that information that it was doing, we're now inside of this for loop. Guard IDs, sleep goes range, blah blah blah. We're now going to get best minute with this other for loop. So again, it's going to be the range. It's going to build that sleep map with sleepiest guard. Which that doesn't matter, sleepiest guard, but it's the name doesn't, who cares. Yes, this will spit out the minute that is
All right,
Because it's so popular.
So let's walk through this. Right, so instead of ranging over the sleepiest guard, because we don't know what that is yet, we're going to range over the sleep schedule for each guard. Okay, so the sleep map as a key contains the guard ID.
Yep.
And then as its value, it contains like their sleep schedule, which is another map where the key is the minute and the value is the number of days that they were asleep at that minute. Right?
Okay.
So if we look at our map again, it goes in this order. So guard ID, minute, and then count, which is like the number of days that they were asleep at that minute. And we already built that up as we were parsing our input.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we got to keep track of a couple of things. Sleepiest guard. We're just kind of changing the definition of what that means.
Right.
The best minute will be the minute that they are asleep the most, and the most asleep will be the count, the number of days that they're asleep at that minute. Maybe I can come up with some better variable names, but
okay, but I get it. It's literally on that chart. It's the amount of times they're asleep at that same minute on different days. Which is our answer then.
Right. So all right. So we get the guard ID, we get their sleep schedule. All right, and then we get the minute, and we get the count, which is the number of days that they're asleep at that minute.
Yep.
For this guard's sleep schedule, right? Because we got 2 for loops here.
Yep. And if the count is greater than
if the count
most asleep,
right? Then we reset the sleepiest guard.
Yep. To guard ID, and we reset most asleep to count.
Right.
And then best minute, meaning like the most often minute that they are asleep, then equals minute, which is convenient.
Yep. That might be it.
Literally has everything right there in our double for loop, which I don't know if that's what it's called. I'm going to call it a double for loop because I don't like dork words. Just kidding. These are jokes.
So our test passed using the new input, right? So we said 4455, which would
So
maybe we can print out. So let's print out. Hey, this is guard. This at minute. This and we don't care about anything else, right? So sleepiest guard, and then best minute. Right. So we'll just do that to verify. All right. So it was. Did it not print out?
It didn't look like it. Poor K. Guard, sleepiest guard, best minute. Is it getting those because it's outside of the... No, it should be...
Helps if you go into part 2, okay?
Oh!
Also, not too confident that our tests were passing now. All right, so fine.
Okay.
Go test. Okay. Hey, it still works. Awesome. So it's guard 99 at minute 45. We saw our new test input.
You see how hard these are to keep track for me sometimes when I'm doing pull requests and it starts attaching other files? Like, that's
God.
not a poor me thing. It's just a goddamn. Sometimes it's
So here's a feature.
much.
Here's a feature that I absolutely dislike about IntelliJ's at least their Golang implementation. So by default they collapse what's in your imports, right? So this is what I should see, and I want to see this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just want to. I don't feel like
sometimes it won't remove them if you, let's say you mistyped something and you were using like stringer or whatever, something that needed some other, I don't know if that's a good example, but it'll put it there, and then sometimes if you erase that line, it won't always take out an unused dependency. So
Yeah.
I always
An
like to see
unused
the red
import.
import. Sorry,
Yeah.
unused import.
So if you bind Control S to use Go imports instead of to Go format, which is what a lot of people do, Go imports will actually remove those unused imports for you.
But will it also format nicely everything? Because I Control S, like,
Yeah, so
I have palsy.
So Go imports also does Go format. Yep.
That's the way to do it.
I don't know why Go format just doesn't do what Go imports does, but whatever. So although I hate that feature where they collapse your imports, I do like that you can just search their settings because you don't have to go through.
Will it automatically do that if you set it? So it has that downside that it will collapse it also?
This is the default installation. So
Oh,
if you've already unchecked this, then you got nothing to worry about. So this imports, and then here's some other things like this setting is complete garbage. This format strings. I have it in the early access preview, and I sent them some kind of not great feedback on it.
Well,
So
they gotta hear it from somebody like, hey, this doesn't work.
It really doesn't. So what it does is this format strings, at least in the EAP, is it changed like this whole printf thing. Here, this is good enough. So it would change like this whole printf thing if we have a printf. We don't right now, but it would change it to look like almost like a JavaScript interpolated string where you put the variables like, if you did like, I don't know, a colon equals 1, and you say a equals percent d a, right? Actually, let's see if it does it. So, because I just want to show off how freaking awful this is. So folding, and then if I say format strings, apply. Yeah, this is like, what is this?
Something to confuse people like me that don't know Go as well.
Exactly.
As
No, this confuses me because the gray means it's not really part of the code. Like here, when you see suffix or format, it's like
saying, "Hey, you got to do something like this. Here's your."
Well, it's giving you the argument names. Like that can be helpful, right? But like this is not helpful to anybody, in my opinion. Maybe it's helpful to like if you're if you're familiar with like whatever language uses this formatting, maybe that's helpful. Then as soon as you click on the line, it shows you
Python. I swear to God, it's probably Python. I don't know.
See, I can't hate on Python because they.
Not hating on it, just it gets compared to Go a lot. Is why I say that. Like whenever if I type Golang verse into Google, the first one to pop up is Python, and there's a lot of comparisons. Which
I really think that
they're fair,
I think they're different sweet spots personally. Like
that's what it says, but for speed, it says absolutely Go.
Right. Well, I mean, there's CPython, right, where you can compile your Python to C. So I mean, I think the sweet spot for Python right now is obviously all the machine learning stuff because TensorFlow has bindings for Python, and Python's a language that's actually well suited for like vector and matrices representation. It ends up actually just reading a whole lot better and being more understandable for that machine learning stuff.
Interesting.
And since they have C bindings, like you're basically paying the cost for a foreign function interface call, which when all you're doing is like establishing that connection to the underlying C library that does TensorFlow, and then you're shoving data into your GPU and then waiting for the answer back. The cost of doing the FFI, the foreign function interface call, is kind of amortized by like all the time that your GPU is spent crunching numbers, so it didn't really make that big of a difference.
Were you just showing off for the camera? Because that was a lot of good info put very well. Few things I didn't know, but
well,
wow.
I mean, it's true.
No, I'm saying it, but not a lot of people may know that exactly. Sorry if anybody's bothered by the wrapper sound of my hot nuts.
It is also going on to our ASMR channel, so I should I should get close to the mic.
Oh,
You have
you're not
no
hearing
idea.
us as a
You have no
sponsor.
idea. You have no idea what this sounds like on the other side.
Oh, bad. Bro.
No. If I get close to the mic, I sound quite different. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So this is maybe our answer. And what we can do is we can plug this in over here and see if it's right.
Wow. Seriously?
Record time.
You had to like just add basically one embedded for loop.
It's just like rearrange like the last part of the program and just got the right
like
answer.
Embedded for loop basically, and you killed that, which gives me hope because.